Hi Leo, this is your horoscope for December 2017. You'll know that Mercury, the communication planet, is the one making the most noise this month. It goes into retrograde from the 2nd of December until the 22nd of December, and it's in Sagittarius in your 5th house. So Sagittarius is a fire sign just like you, so you're not going to be as affected by this retrograde. What it's going to do, it's going to bring communication issues into your life, especially when it comes to the relationships you have with loved ones and children. So make sure that you're present and that you're actually listening and that you're not preparing your answer or that you're, 5 sentences ahead. Just make sure you're in the now and you're really hearing people to avoid any kind of communication issues or conflicts, like people saying, "You never listen to me, I don't feel like I'm being heard," that kind of stuff. On the 3rd of December, we've got a full moon in Gemini, and this is in 11-11. It's a really significant, powerful kind of gate energy. So I've made a separate video on that. Have a look at that if you're interested. It happens in your 11th house, another 11. So it's not just 11-11 for you, it's 11-11-11. It's a huge gate. It's an opportunity to really walk into a different kind of chapter in your life. So check out that video. 11th house is also hopes and dreams being realized, and friendships, relationships with other people. And you can combine them, your hopes and dreams, when it comes to other people. From the 11th of December through until New Year's, we've got Saturn, the planet of structure, conjuncting the Sun, and the Sun is your identity. So Saturn is in Sagittarius until the 20th. With it connecting with the Sun, you're going to have a real sense of certainty and a certainty about where you want to go in future. And it's very kind of isolated and you're very rigid and you're just kind of doing things by yourself without communicating. So it's important to kind of slow down a little bit to let other people in on what you're doing. They're not mind readers. From the 20th onwards, you're going to be even more rigid and decisive and kind of focused on, I want to do this, therefore I will work hard to make it a reality. And that works against you in your 5th house because the 5th house is all about connection. And if you're making decisions for other people, no. Like, when you go to a restaurant and the guy orders for the wife, like, what the hell? I don't get that. Like, how do you... Anyway, so that kind of thing, people don't like that. I certainly wouldn't like it if someone ordered for me in a restaurant, or if someone told me where this relationship was going. I'd be like, oh really, is it? Okay, have fun. So make sure that you open up a little bit and that you communicate. And that's hard because we've got Mercury in retrograde. So it's just about being present. And if you just stick with that, you're going to not run into problems. Just be you. You're charming, Leo, warm, loving kind of personality, and just be present and you're going to be able to avoid a lot of these issues. On the 18th of December, we've got Saturn conjuncting Venus. So Saturn, again, whenever it transits something or it connects something, it makes it more rigid. And the 18th and 19th, you're going to be somewhat confused about your feelings, but you're also going to be unwilling to make changes if someone tells you to make changes. From the 20th onwards, you're going to be more decisive and more willing to take action. So, okay, let's say you're wanting to get engaged. Don't kind of give hints or drop little suggestions like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to be married? Don't drop those kind of hints around the 18th and 19th. It's not going to be as good. Drop them from the 20th onwards, you'll get where you want. It's much more likely from then onwards. On the 18th as well, we've got a new moon, which is when the moon is totally black. And that happens in your 5th house as well. So the 5th house of romance and relationships. So there's lots going on there. So romance and children, family, that's going to be a big focus. And all you need to do is be present. With this new moon, it's about new beginnings in that area. So from the 18th onwards, new beginnings, but you're unwilling, remember? 18th, 19th, you're like, unless I'm deciding it, I'm not so sure, I'm torn. So think about things, discuss things, but say, there's no rush, let's decide in a couple of days, let's decide over Christmas. when all of the, festivities are over, and then we'll make a plan. Do it that way, and don't torture yourself and force yourself to make a decision when it just doesn't feel right. So on the 20th, Saturn does go into Capricorn, and it is a big deal because this is an outer planet and it stays in each sign of the zodiac for 2.5 years, okay? So it going into Capricorn now and staying there until, I think it's March 2020, is really, really significant because Saturn in Sagittarius was torn. Saturn is about staying put and building something. It's like the tower in the tarot, but not blowing it up, building it. Sagittarius is a centaur. It wants to travel and explore and learn new things. It wants to be away from here, gone. So the two are pulling each other in different directions. So over the last 2.5 years, it's been difficult to make decisions. When Saturn goes into Capricorn, it also goes into your 6th house of work. Saturn rules Capricorn, and it's not the same thing, but they're very similar. Saturn is about, okay, what are we going to really structure and make a long-term thing in your life? Capricorn is applying yourself, working, being ambitious, and being practical and grounded. And when you combine the two, it says, if you want something in life, you have to work for it. And it's relentless. It's not, you deserve something for just being you, or ask your friends for help, no. Or don't worry about it, things are just going to come together somehow. No, it doesn't think like that. It says everything is hard work, only you can work in the way that it needs to be done. If you want something done, do it yourself, and on and on and on. It is not very fun, it's very serious. So it's going to help you be more productive over the next 2.5 years, but also it takes on the responsibility and the blame for everything. Oh, I didn't get the job, it must be my fault. I'm not attractive enough, I'm not charming enough, I didn't work hard enough. Or I don't live in the house that I want to live in, I'm working my butt off, I have to work even harder, but I'm exhausted and I can barely move. It's my fault because I should be stronger physically. You know, it's that kind of energy. It's really relentless. So give yourself a break. You're going to be productive anyway, so make room for parties and friendships and love. On the 21st, we've got the winter solstice. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's the shortest day of the year. If you're in the southern, it's the longest. Congrats if you're in the southern. I wish I had the longest day coming up. Although the weather, anyway, it's been beautiful here. I'm not going to talk about the weather. Okay. So the winter solstice, in your case, we've got the North Node in Leo in your 1st house. So this is a really powerful day in terms of understanding where you're going in your life. So all the confusion with other people, you know, in your ear, I want to get married, I want I want this relationship to be more serious, or what are we doing? 21st is a great day for you to actually just get in touch with your own power and say, there we go, this is what I want. And that's what's going to help you be more decisive and to take action. On the 24th, so Christmas Eve, if you're German and you're celebrating, Merry Christmas. Or if you're the Queen, she celebrates on the 24th. We've got a lot of energy in your 6th house. So you're focused on the actual ins and outs and running of things, which is kind of unlike you actually. You're much more organized, and you're much more focused on making it look beautiful and for everyone to have their little name tags in place and everything to be great. You're also going to feel very emotionally attached to this Christmas and that it goes well. You don't have any control of that. If a cantankerous aunt shows up and she decides to just say nasty things, there's nothing you can do except gag her, which you can't do. So give yourself a break as well when it comes to Christmas, because you can make beautiful arrangements and cook the best meal, but if someone shows up and isn't feeling it, then that's nothing to do with you. I had to learn this lesson recently, and it's kind of depressing, that you know, it doesn't matter what you do. If it's the best thing you've ever done, like a masterpiece, a genuine masterpiece, or if it's just a pile of rubbish, people are going to love it and hate it, regardless of what you do and what you think about it. So even if it's the thing that you're most proud of, you've been working on the tree for weeks and the whole house smells of cinnamon and there's mistletoe hanging from the wooden beams and it's just gorgeous, someone's going to come in and say, oh, it's not as nice as last year. So don't let that affect you. New Year's Eve, you have got the moon in Gemini in your 11th house. Amazing. Gemini, if you look at the glyph of Gemini, it's a doorway. It's a Roman numeral 2, and it's at 18 degrees in your 11th house, which is another doorway. So we've got 11, 11. So you get 2 of those 11, 11s this month. Not just on the 3rd of December with the full moon, but now here at the end of the year. And for you to walk through this big doorway on New Year's Eve is really positive. The North Node is still in Leo in your first house. You're going to feel comfortable in your own skin. You're going to be feeling super, super focused in terms of where you're going with your life and what your daily routine should be and how you can take action to make that a reality. So you hit the ground running, move into the new year, feeling really empowered and strong. So that's what I get for you in December. Hope it gives you something to go on. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please visit my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to audio reading. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next month.